Well. Uh, it's been a very long time since the last time we imparted in a discussion or a discourse. Um, I've had I've had time to develop more of a realistic point of view of the world over the last couple of months, and the reason for this video, because everybody's like, why are you just here talking to me on the screen, is literally because you are being controlled every single day. Wherever you go, they're controlling you. Now, you might not feel that way. You might not feel that way. And in part, that might be a good thing. However, that could be a downfall as well. So let's go to the board. I like to keep it real simple. I don't want you to feel like you're in school, but this is the only way that I felt was visually appealing. So, first of all, what's the title of the video? The world will force you into submission if you let it. Let me underline that for you. If you let it. Now, what do you mean? The world will force who into submission? Not me. I'm tough. I'm a gangster. Listen, everyone is after some sort of power or control, even if they do not admit it openly. That's a little controversial and it's a little bold. So I'm going to let that one sit for a little bit. Everyone is after some sort of control, even if they don't tell you to your face personally. Why do I say that? First of all, that is a basic principle of human psychology. And for those who disagree, I just have two simple questions for you. Who in the world wants to be last? Whoever in the world, whoever's watching this video, and you have a personal attachment to being last, please drop a comment. Who likes to feel disrespected or neglected? Raise your hand. Now, if you raise your hand, I might have to talk to you on the side about that. But obviously, no one likes to be disrespected. No one likes to be neglected. So, what is the alternative? That you're respected and that people don't neglect you, but that people pay attention to you. That's a form of power, a form of influence, a form of control. Now, that can be good or bad. Let's not attach a negative connotation to that word power. That can be both for good and for bad. Number two, well, okay, I said in the clip before that can be either good or bad, right? All form of power or control is not necessarily bad because, your parents held a certain point of control over you. Now, that control hopefully was used to a better end, to your betterment as a person and as a human being. But there also can be negative connotations. Like, we're also controlled by the higher ups. Come on. This is America, capitalism. Let's keep it a buck. But we are also controlled in more subtle ways, like by your friends. Like, yo, bro, let's go smoke this blunt or something. Like, let's go drink this beer when you know you got to be doing something. That is a form of power and control. Whether or not you want to admit it is your problem. But it is what it is. Now, listen, to be naive to this fact is to be oblivious and blind to the competitive nature of the world that we live in. Why do I say that? Because if you automatically feel that everybody is out for your best interest and nobody in the world would ever hurt you because you're not the type of person that would ever hurt anybody, then I'm here to burst that bubble. And I'm going to take that burden of you hating me if that's what you decide to do, because that is not how the world is. That is not how the world is. People are in this for themselves. Now, that does not mean that you have to become evil. That does not mean that you now have to like be a dick with people. That's not what that means. But you do have to be conscious of the fact that people will take advantage of you if you let them. It's so hard. So hard. Like, just to even think that, like, my friends, the people close to me, like, they have underlying intentions. Yes. Like I said, those can be good or bad. However, we all have underlying intentions. The first people to ever introduce you to that fact, even though you did not know it, were your parents. Now, your parents were the first figures that had control in your life, right? You wanted to go left, mommy said right. And if you still wanted to go left, she'll just smack you in the back of the head, bro. We know how it is, right? So those were the first figures of control in your life because they had say so over what you did and what you didn't do. However, without you knowing, they were actually exposing you to the power dynamics of society, which they themselves are subject to. Why do I say that? Okay, in society, there are hierarchies. Certain groups have more power than other groups. It just is how it is. And whether or not you feel good or bad about that, it doesn't matter because that's still the reality of the fact, right? So your parents fall on some scale of that social hierarchy. You were automatically under them. So if they were like dumb low already, you were like excessively low. You feel me? So they were giving you a basic lesson into the power dynamics of society and showing you how people will manipulate or will try to have a say so in your life to a certain degree, whether that be for good or for bad. It is up to you to recognize whether or not they're trying to lead you to good or whether or not they're trying to lead you to bad. But that still is what it is, right? So it's actually super hilarious because it wasn't even recording my face, but the message still stands. Listen, number 3, the third point. Listen, in our day-to-day interactions, we are being exposed to nothing more than repetitive manifestations of the need for influence. Our day-to-day interactions are nothing more than repetitive manifestations of the need for influence. We can see that in TV ads, trying to get you to buy this, trying to get you to buy that. Control, influence. We can see that in friends. You know, maybe your friends are telling you, yo, let's go out. You feel me? Let's go to the gym. Let's go to this party. Influence. We got women. Every guy could feel this. Like you got women trying to distract you from what you're really supposed to be doing. Now they'll only want to distract you if you're a person that, you know, does have things going on for himself, but that's another story. And the biggest of all is the school system. Raise your hand when you want to go to the bathroom. Raise your hand for this, raise your hand for that. Don't talk out of turn. Hey, Jimmy in the back, stop talking. You're distracting the others. Now, what is that? Control, power, influence. So, the day-to-day scenarios that we are in, let's say even if you meet somebody at the grocery store and you want to find, let's say you want to find the water, you're not about to pull up out of nowhere like, hey bro, you know where the water at? Because that's going to have a negative influence to what you're trying to do. You want to influence the person to be like, you know what, the water's on aisle 3 or the water's on aisle 4. So you're trying to influence them to help you. Now, you're not trying to like manipulate them so that they die, but you still want to get something out of them, which is information. Now, why? Why do we want it? Why do we need it? Listen, with power comes the feeling of importance. With power comes the feeling of superiority. You feel good, right? With power comes the illusion of control. Keyword illusion. That's why I underlined it. Y'all see the underline, right? The only reason why I say illusion is boom, right? When the field is leveled, no one will do anything that they're forced to do. Basically like this, right? If, let's say you're with your friend, right? You're not necessarily better than your friend is not necessarily better than you, right? So the power is the same thing. Boom. Let's say your friend wants to go right and you want to go left. It's funny because I did that backwards, but you get the idea, right? So the power is equal. So you're not just going to go left because your friend is saying to go left. You're going to go left because you made the conscious decision like, okay, bet, let's go left. Right? You were influenced to do that. However, you still did it because you wanted to. You took the decision to be influenced and to make that decision to change from right to left. Now, when somebody has more power than you, it is still an illusion of control. Because boom, right? Let's say a higher up, let's say a supervisor, you don't really like him. He's annoying, right? He tells you, yo, go do this. Now, he's supposedly higher than you, and he's telling you, yo, go do this. You're not going to go do that because you like him. That's not why you're going to do it. You're going to do that because like you don't want to lose your job. Because then how you, like, there's no money, no bills. How are you going to pay it? Nothing, right? So you didn't necessarily do that because you wanted to. You did that because you had to. But that's still the illusion of control. Because if you had the chance to decide not to do it, you would take that chance every chance that it came up. So it's not real control. Because a man convinced against his own will is of the same opinion still. Okay, we did a lot of chatting, we did a lot of talking, we did a lot of breaking down, right? But how does that affect you? That's really what you're concerned about. How does that affect me? Right? Listen, if you, the person watching this video, the person hearing me speak right now, if you are not conscious of the fact that people will subconsciously or consciously lead or manipulate events to their ends, then you will be led astray by the masses. Excuse me. If you're not conscious of the fact that people will subconsciously or consciously lead events or manipulate events in their favor or in order to get something that they're looking for, then you will be led astray by the masses. Because even you do that. So you have to be conscious of yourself before you can never recognize it in another person. Because yeah, it feels good it feels good saying, yeah, other people are looking for power. Other people are looking to control me. But the thing is, you're also looking for control. You're also looking for power. Because you don't like to be last. You don't like to feel disrespected. So you're looking for the same thing they're looking for. So first understand that, right? Second of all, understand that most people that will try to assert control in a social situation are oblivious that they are pawns in a bigger game that goes on right in front of us. Yeah, you might have that one coworker that is annoying, that you feel like subconsciously be trying to play you. You might have people that do talk behind your back. However, it's a much bigger game being played, and we're just pawns in it. And we have no control over that. But you know what? I don't really want to be ambiguous. I don't really want to just leave it out in the air. I don't want you to just start thinking about conspiracy theories and stuff like that, right? So what is the game? What is the bigger agenda? What is it? It is to keep you a slave to your desires and blind from the fact that you're weak. I might get a couple of people in the comments that want to debate me on that point, but the frailty of the human experience is that we try to feel ourselves greater than what we are, and we don't become ultimate realists. We'll actually lose touch of reality because of our grandiose idea of ourselves. What does weak mean? What is the definition of weak? I looked it up for you so you don't have to. Listen, liable to break or give way under pressure, easily damaged, lacking physical strength or energy. How am I weak? I'm not weak. Oh, really? So, you know what? I'm going to actually save that for the next video. I want to end it with this question in mind. If a person is oblivious to their weakness, does that make it any less weak? Destiny at hand. Stay tuned next week.